We are at the International Day of Forest at the United Nations ECOSOC Chamber, and we're talking to Latha Swamy, a senior advisor in Planetary Health to Ernesto Zedillo at the Yale Center for the Study of Globalization, and the UN Ambassador for Women's Environment and Development Organization, WEDO. We would like to ask you a few questions. First, welcome and thank you for joining us for this. Why is it so important to highlight the symbiotic relationship between energy and forests? And also, what does gender play? What role does gender play in this relationship?
I think it's very important to understand that when we're looking at forests and energy resources, particularly fuel wood, charcoal, that this energy divide is gendered. So consumption and collection of fuel wood and uses of charcoal are different for men and women. And I think that highlighting some of the data, especially on the local level, and then how it's important to engage global processes in understanding, translating, and incorporating this kind of information from the local level into policymaking is very important with a mind to gender when they're looking at forest resources, especially in regards to energy.
Now, who are the people who continue to use wood-based sources as a source of energy today? And in this group, of course, what does gender play? What role does the gender play in this group? And why is this source of energy so important to them?
So some say that wood-based biomass fuels are the oldest fuels in the world. So many of the places that still use this type of energy resource are sub-Saharan Africa and parts of Asia, and also in a lot of Western countries. But particularly when we're thinking about these gendered dimensions of energy from forests, if we look at sub-Saharan Africa particularly, and some parts of Asia, as I mentioned before, collecting fuel wood is primarily a task for women. And especially in sub-Saharan Africa, we see that it's percentage-wise compared to how much men use or take up their time during the day collecting fuel wood. Women do it a significantly larger amount of time, and also true for some parts of Asia. So I think that it's important to understand that this is an extremely important wood-based fuel resource, one of the oldest. And if we take into account the populations in these areas, that's nearly half of the world's population use this.
So what do you think is the future of this energy source, considering the consistent move towards renewable sources that we are pursuing right now, and how will it affect women?
So I think that there is a place for wood-based biomass fuel resources in moving toward a sustainable energy for all agenda. But I think that, many efforts that are moving toward this will be undermined if gender is not considered, because there is this kind of imbalance in some places in the world on collection and consumption. And also, it's important to realize that women are informal natural resource managers. They're the ones that allocate these energy resources in the household in many of these places. So I think it's key to remember that women's participation in local, regional, and global processes that work on energy initiatives is very important because, because they are the ones that hold a lot of the knowledge, and they're smart natural resource managers in many of these respects.
I agree. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.